The entire U.S. West Coast, including Los Angeles, remains under a tsunami advisory right now.
An advisory means dangerous currents and waves are possible. People are being told to stay away from beaches and waterways. Fox's Mario Ramirez reports from Marina Del Rey.
The entire U.S. West Coast was under that tsunami advisory overnight, and we just learned that it's been downgraded here in Southern California to a tsunami watch. Now, we're in Marina Del Rey, and you can see the waters here behind me in the harbor are very calm, but there was some concern that surging water in and out of harbors could cause boats and even docks to detach from structures as residents came by overnight to take a look at that rare activity.
If the wave comes and it's really huge, then all the docks would lift and float freely with all the boats just floating around all over the place and crashing against each other. That would be terrible.
That tsunami advisory now in effect for coastal areas from San Diego County to San Luis Obispo County following that powerful earthquake near Russia. And some who came out here to Marina Del Rey overnight like they normally do say this time it was under rare conditions.
Honestly, I was a little freaked out, but I mean, nothing too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody at work was scared because we work by the beach, like right here, like right on the shore. But everybody was like pretty scared.
Just the water levels are a little higher. Usually it's like really low, but today it's a nice high tide, and there's a bit of a stream going down that way. But I was honestly not that worried since, you know, we always get the alerts and they never really seem to hit. But you never know. It could be that one day when it actually does hit and, you know, the waves started crashing down.
Those people coming for a closer look, others leaving the area.
I heard about the tsunami, and I'm seeing the difference in the ripple effect in the water. I'm about ready to push up out of here because I see the water coming, and you never know. It's crazy, yeah. I mean, it's a little scary.
Tsunamis are much rarer than earthquakes for us.
Our local earthquake expert, Dr. Lucy Jones, talks about how rare this event is for Southern California and the potential for damage.
It's a very strong current, right? The water's pushing you around. There's a lot of weight to the water, and therefore we often see a lot of damage in harbors or ports, and I think that's likely to be a significant issue in this as the tsunami passes through.
There's been no reported damage from that tsunami activity, but officials say that waves generated by a tsunami could persist for up to 9 hours after that initial sign. For now, that's the latest here in Marina Del Rey. I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
And Brandon, this upcoming trial and the deadly attack that preceded it have received a great deal of media attention. So this move by the judge does not come as a big surprise. The Carmelo Anthony is set to begin June of 2026. Anthony is accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf during a dispute at a Frisco ISD track meet this past April under the gag order announced on Tuesday. Attorneys, witnesses, family members, and other people in the case cannot speak about it publicly. We spoke with an attorney not involved with this case about yesterday's ruling so many months prior to the start of the trial.
Well, this just prevents the parties from discussing essentially what their plans are in court and their impression about anything that they've reviewed in the discovery in the case. And it tries to preserve the parties' right to have a fair trial and for all the evidence to come out in the trial of the case.
Russell, former Dallas County prosecutor who now specializes in criminal defense. The judge in the Carmelo Anthony trial has also ruled that there will be no change of venue for the court proceedings because he said this case has received nationwide attention, so switching the county where the trial happens would not make it easier to seat a jury. Reporting live, downtown Dallas, Dan Godwin on Good Day.
Police are trying to find a driver accused of running a red light, hitting another car, and then driving away. All right, so the two people inside the car, they are okay, but their vehicle obviously no longer drivable. Fox 4's David Centendry spoke to them about the crash. David, what's the latest?
Yeah, Heather, that video shows the suspect driver running through a red light before the crash and then not even coming to a complete stop before driving away. A hit-and-run T-bone crash in the Lakewood neighborhood of Dallas overnight Saturday.
And I just saw a car, and I remember saying, oh, snap, a car. And then it just went black.
Romeo Gonzalez says he blacked out upon impact. The 20-year-old driving his mother's car with his brother Ricardo in the passenger seat. The other driver never stops. Instead, speeds away.
He just took off as soon as he noticed that he hit us, I guess.
About 50 yards away, a woman in a van collecting electric scooters sprints to help. Less than 30 seconds after impact, she's speaking with the brothers.
Are you okay? Are you guys okay?
Their airbags deployed. She's eventually able to get the driver's side door open to get both brothers out.
I mean, thanks for checking on us because, I mean, it's nice to have a witness.
I was sitting in my bedroom, minding my own business with the TV set on.
Dan Berlin heard the crash. He lives nearby. Berlin says accidents at the intersection of Gaston Avenue and Skillman Street all too common.
Because you have to kind of inch out to see if somebody's speeding.
I saw the car. I don't even remember the impact.
What Romeo Gonzalez remembers prior to the crash does not feel real.
Everything looked like it was in slow motion.
The two brothers work second shift and were grabbing late-night food before the crash. They say their mother only had liability insurance for the car.
So we have been saving up for something else, but since this happened, we had to end up using our savings to go buy another car.
A costly accident, police say, is not their fault.
A lot better knowing that we didn't just get killed that night. We still got our goals ahead of us, so.
So check this out. Those two brothers say they believe they found that suspect vehicle just a few blocks away from that crash site. They say it checks out. The damage on that vehicle shows where the impact was at, but the license plate, they say, was removed from that vehicle. There were some other identifying parts of that vehicle they took photos of. They're working to share that info with police. Again, if you have any information on this crash and that suspect, you can reach out to Dallas Police Department. Steve, Heather, back to y'all.
All right. David Centenry, if that car has a VIN,
that's the identifier
inside the door, it's going to be over.
And that's one of those photos.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of those photos. They say they have a photo of the VIN number, so, you know, we'll see.
As Texas Democrats strategize to try to defeat Republican-led redistricting efforts, one option on the table is leaving the state. Fox 4 has learned some lawmakers are weighing the idea of breaking quorum to grind the House floor action to a halt. It comes as state Democrats meet with their party leaders in other states, and some blue states weigh redistricting plans of their own to try to offset Texas's efforts. That's a lot going on, and Fox 4's Amelia Jones is in with what problems Democrats know they face. Amelia.
Yeah, Steve, Heather, if Democrats leave the state and break quorum, not only would they be facing hundreds of dollars in fines, but they could also hold up movement on other legislation. Hours after another packed public hearing on redistricting, Fox 4 has learned some Texas Democrats are considering their options to hold off a vote, including a quorum break.
So it's something that you can do to make a point in the short term, but if it really drags on and starts to be, weeks and weeks, it exacts a real toll on those trying to do it.
SMU political science professor Matthew Wilson notes that breaking quorum is even more difficult now. In 2021, in protest of changes to election laws, Democrat lawmakers flew to Washington, D.C., so there weren't enough lawmakers at the Capitol for the House to operate. However, in 2023, Republican House leaders passed a rule saying that those who break quorum face a $500 a day fine if they're absent. But sources confirmed to Fox 4 that some big-dollar Democratic donors have offered to pay the fines. Wilson says that could teeter on the line of violating campaign finance laws.
I think it's a very dicey legal situation, and Democrats admit as much that there are campaign finance complications with this, because if you have donors paying the personal fines that lawmakers have accrued as a result of their conduct, that comes dangerously close to looking like a bribe. And that's a bad look in the court of public opinion.
Wilson says despite some Democrats' claims they have found a legal workaround, that's not the only issue those lawmakers will need to consider. If Republicans hold off on flood relief legislation and Democrats leave the state, Democrats could inadvertently hold up that bill, too.
And Republicans will say, look, we're all set to pass this flood response. All we need is Democrats to come back and do their job and be present for their elected responsibilities so that we can move these bills through.
Whether Democrat lawmakers break quorum or not, Wilson believes their efforts against redistricting are not all lost.
They will try and probably will succeed at some level, at least temporarily, in scoring some points in the court of public opinion.
There's no time frame on when Democrat lawmakers could make the decision to leave the state. Sources tell Fox 4 that the new redistricting maps will be released soon. Then the debate will begin over those proposed maps. Steve, Heather, back to you.
All right, Amelia Jones reporting live. Thank you, Amelia.